We have more children dying from gun violence in the United States than we have cops dying from gun violence or soldiers dying on the battlefield combined. I mean, imagine your 5-year-old child singing in school to the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Lockdown, lockdown, lock the door, shut the lights, say no more. Go behind the desk and hide, wait until it's safe inside. No, seriously. 5-year-olds in school. And then being stalked by another child, this one, for example, with a Sig Sauer 9mm semi-automatic weapon that was designed for warfare. Imagine getting the call from the hospital or the police telling you that your child or grandchild is dead by gunfire, that you'll never see him or her again, ever. Now, every day when police go to work, as we're told thousands of times a year by cop shows on TV, their family knows that they, never knows if they're going to come home alive. I mean, for this reason, among others, we gave, the Supreme Court gave police the so-called qualified immunity. So if they kill somebody in the line of duty, it's really hard to prosecute them. We celebrate our soldiers, our Marines, our airmen, and our sailors for largely the same reason. They put their lives on the line to protect us. Cops run toward gunfire, so we reward them with pensions and all kinds of things. Free medical care if they get shot, all kinds of stuff. With our soldiers, we give them combat bonuses. We provide them with a lifetime of medical care. We give them dental. We give them pharmaceuticals. We even pay for 100% of their college tuition, cover up to 100% of the cost of their housing while they're in school, and give them $1,000 a year for books because they were willing to run into or to face gunfire. But our children? This is from the American Journal of Medicine. Quote, in 2017, there were 144 police officers in America who died in the line of duty, including for all medical reasons. About 1,000 active duty military throughout the world, American military, who died of all causes. Whereas in that same year, 2017, 2,462 school-aged children were killed by firearms. Since 1963, when the Vietnam War arguably began, when JFK sent advisors to Vietnam, since 1963, nearly 193,000 American children have been killed with guns here in the United States. More than 4 times the number of U.S. soldiers killed in action in the Vietnam, Persian Gulf, Afghanistan, and Iraq wars combined. Think about that. If you want to know what a society values, look who it's protecting and who it's letting die, basically. Of that 144 police officers who died in 2017, about 50 of them died from gunfire. So if you take, 50 cops a year going all the way back 50 years, and that's a generous number, you get a little short of 3,000 police who have died by gunfire since the year that JFK was killed by gunfire. But 193,000 children in that same period of time? For some reason, in particular, Republicans in Congress don't think that that's, even worth doing anything about. They are fighting to preserve the gun show loophole. They are fighting to avoid having a return of the assault weapons ban. They have diluted the Brady bill. 3,371 American children died from gunfire in 2019, enough to fill 168 classrooms of 20 children each. And they received no protection whatsoever from Republicans for sacrificing their lives to protect the Second Amendment. Instead, the Republicans continue to promote these loopholes. The Children's Defense Fund noted this year, quote, in 2019, 9 children and teens were killed with guns each day in America, 1 every 2 hours and 36 minutes. Guns killed more children and teens than cancer, pneumonia, influenza, asthma, HIV, AIDS, and opioids combined. While mass shootings grabbed fleeting public and policymaker attention, routine gunfire took the lives of more children and teens every week in America, every week, than Parkland, Sandy Hook, and Columbine massacres combined, every week. For every child or teen fatally shot, another 5 suffered non-fatal gunshot wounds. An estimated 16,644 children and teens were injured with guns in 2018, one every 32 minutes. Americans account for less than 5% of the global population, but we have 46% of all the civilian guns in the world. What we are looking at here, just like we did with tobacco, is the consequence of a multi-year, I'd say, going back to the 1970s. It's when the NRA changed from being a sportsman's organization to being basically a front group for the gun manufacturers in the mid-1970s. And in that, 55, 60 years, more or less, the weapons industry has spent hundreds of millions of dollars advertising these weapons and buying members of Congress ever since the Supreme Court legalized bribing members of Congress. In 2005, a Republican-controlled House, a Republican-controlled Senate, and a Republican President, George W. Bush, passed a law called the Protecting Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, which makes it impossible for the parents of dead children to sue gun manufacturers or gun sellers. I mean, this is just crazy. Conservatives, Republicans specifically, in Congress prevented the U.S. government from even legally compiling gun death statistics. So back to tobacco. We tolerated hundreds of thousands, about 400,000 to 500,000 deaths from tobacco every single year for decades, and didn't do a thing about it until the 1990s, when several democratically controlled states and some really brilliant lawyers got together and just kicked the ass of the tobacco industry. And now we don't even have tobacco vending machines anymore because kids can get access to them. I think we need to be protecting our children from guns. Call me a liberal if you want. We spend half of all discretionary federal dollars on our military and our police, and we spend 9% on our children. And now you've got Mitch McConnell saying, oh yeah, this Build Back Better bill that offers child care and pre-K, they're calling it the toddler takeover. Right. Screw the children, says Mitch McConnell. Republicans don't give a damn about children. They don't give a rat's ass about kids. They're all about the money, all about the profits. You know that money that the Democrats want to give to protect children and help children and strengthen our schools and build back better? Are you kidding? That money could be used for our military. That money could be used for to more heavily arm Americans. I mean, this is just crazy. The Republicans gutted the Brady Law. They refused to, I think it was 2005. It was during the George W. Bush administration when the assault weapon ban expired, and they refused to put it into place again. Ever since the election of Reagan, the GOP has embraced guns as part of their culture war against the American people. And it is having devastating results to our children. If you want to know who Republicans in Congress value, look at who they protect, who they fund, and who they let die. 193,000 dead American children since 1963. 4 times more than all the soldiers we've lost in all our wars.